Dakika 11 baada ya saa 12 Afrika Mashariki, unaendelea kutazama Kenya's Gold bila wasiwasi. Basi tukishaketi hivi taratibu tunaingia katika mdahalo mkubwa. Leo tunazungumzia wale wafugaji wanaohamahama, tuhakikishe kwamba wanapata lishe kwa mifugo wao. Lakini sasa tuzungumzie hilo kwa undani. Tunaye mgeni anayekwenda kwa jina la James Gathumbi. Yeye ni mshirikishi katika shirika la Lead Farmer. Kwako Gathumbi, karibu sana. Lakini swali la kwanza, tukisema Lead Farmer, shirika hili linahusika na nini?
Asante sana. Lead Farmer ni kampuni ambayo inahusika na mambo ya kuelekeza wakulima katika kilimo biashara ama kilimo faida. Na mimi kama mwanzilishi wa hiyo kikundi nimekuwa nayo, iko na washirika kama 1500 hapa Kenya. Miongoni wa wale wanakamua lita 100 kila siku. Kwa sababu tumeonelea kwamba wale wataokoa Kenya ni wale wanafanya kazi kwa bidii. So au tunajaribu sana vile tutawasaidia kimawazo na pia katika teknolojia kama vile kupatia wanyama chakula.
Now, James, when we get into the conversation on fodder,
thank you.
Please help us understand the different types of fodder that is available.
Oh, thank you very much. We have different fodders ambazo we have been having in Kenya, especially when we come to dairy farming. We talk about maize fodders. That means that you grow your maize for your animal. That is what we call maize fodders. Now, when we are feeding that one, we say that you give it the stem and the maize. So that is what we call maize fodders. We also have some different fodders like sorghum. We have millet. And currently we have one called the Super Napier Punctum one. The one that is actually the novel. Everybody is looking for it. And actually there are fodders that does well in the rainy seasons. And there are those who doesn't do in the rainy season. And there are those that they shall do well in the dry seasons. So that is what we call the different types of fodder. But when you come to naming them, there is a lot of them. Talk about Luzerne. Luzerne is known as herb. It's like a herb. It grows in very short, but it has a lot of protein. Biologically, inaitwa Medicago sativa.
All right.
I think you know about cannabis sativa? Yeah, but we are not talking about cannabis. We are talking about Medicago sativa. So it relaxes the cow, and the cow feel good when they eat it.
So at what point do we start talking about hay and silage in the conversation on fodder?
Thank you. After growing the fodder, that is when we talk about silage. And you see, when we think about silage is when we have enough for your cows, and then you want to store some for the next season when there is no feeds. So that is when you talk about silage.
Okay. Sasa tureje kuuliza swali hilo, tutawafikishaje fodder wale wakulima ambao hawana uwezo wa kuzalisha fodder?
Asante. Jambo la kwanza ni wakulima wenyewe wakubali kufanya kazi. Kwa sababu unakuta kwamba kuna shamba zimekaa tambarare, lakini pia wanyama wao pia wako na njaa. Saa hii tuseme kama saa hii kuna mvua, unakuta wanyama wanalishwa tu kwa ile nyasi walikuwa wanakula wakati wa kiangazi, ndio unagoja Mungu imee ndio upatie wanyama. Badala ufikirie jambo muhimu la kulima, upande zile mimea zimee haraka ndio kuwe na fodder nyingi ipite kiasi ya ile mnyama anakula. Sijui kama ningesema kidogo mnyama anakulanga kiasi gani ama mfugo anakula kiasi gani. Na hii imezingatia mifugo yote kuanzia kuku, ngamia na ng'ombe. Every animal inakula 3% of its body weight. So ni mahesabu mkulima anaweza fanya kuangalia uzito wa wanyama wake, ajue 3% of body weight. Kama unataka kuweka hifadhi la mwaka mmoja, uta multiply 3% ile ambayo unafaa kupea kila siku times 365 days. So ni mahesabu ambayo inafanyika haraka sana. So wakati unaweka ile mambo tunasema food conservation ya silage, unajua uko na chakula ya miaka 10.
Now that you're speaking, you've mentioned about the rains. I would just want you to expound something on that. Now that you have fodder growing around, because of course we've had the rains,
thank you.
Do you think our farmers are preparing themselves enough for the drought season that is coming? And also, is the information and how we can sensitize them on preparedness, is it reaching them?
I think there is a gap. Because every farmer is now happy that the maize are growing well, the napiers are growing well, and they are okay because the animals are full. But when the sun starts hitting, the fodders will be in the farm, but the sun will hit them and they will go lacid. So That one, there is a gap, as you have questioned me. So that one I would ask farmers to make sure they either think about the silage conservations, and also I would urge the stakeholders in agriculture to help farmers, because sometimes you ask a farmer, what is silage? He has never even heard that, because he thinks that a cow can eat only that grows and fresh, but we keep it, and they can go even for more than 10 years. Let me tell you, when I was studying about agriculture, I learned that Israel was a desert. And imagine Israel is feeding the whole world. Why don't we take advantage right now? I know Israel mambo mingi imesimama sahi. So why don't we put our efforts now? And we do a lot of feed conservations, preservations, so that the next season, which is coming, and definitely is coming, the animals will not die, and every farmer will be on profit.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Umezungumza kuhusiana na conservation na preservation. Je, kuna mbinu hitajika ndio mkulima afikie kiwango ambacho yeye mwenyewe hataona kuna madhara?
Jambo la kwanza, zamani za kale wakati ulikuwa mdogo na serikali ilikuwa mzuri sana na hata sasa semi ni baya, tuliona watu wa agriculture wakikuja kwenu nyumbani na wanafunza baba yako, mama yako jinsi ya kulima kama wamedhaminiwa na serikali. Na wanaenda all around. Walikuwa mpaka wananunua magari. Can you remember the Suzuki for the veterinary? So I want to tell you that was the way to go, and it is the way to go. Hii ni kuelimisha kila mkulima ajue binu ya kuhifadhi majani. When we talk about preservation, we talk about silage making, we talk about hay, because now you cut the hay, you dry it, then you pack it. And there is a lot that is done in other countries. There are feed blocks. I don't know if people have ever heard about the feed blocks. They are there. Feed blocks are just feed complex like a brick, and they are kept for use in the next years when there will be no fodders in Kenya. So I think that there is a gap that need to be filled by the farmers and also by the government.
But as we speak right now, where are we as a country in terms of fodder availability for pastoralists?
Thank you very much. One thing, if you ask anything about the fodder of pastoralists, I'll tell you, we are still where we were. Because that is when pastoralist cows would die when there is no fodders. Right now, every pastoralist is very happy. You see, like Kitengera, Kajiado, Narok, the cows are very fat. And if you tell them right now it's the time to harvest the cows and sell them, they will say no. They want to reproduce so that they have many cows. But then they don't imagine that when they will be hit by famine, then they will become thin again. And we shall see the picture that we were showing last time when there were cow dying. So what I would urge is that for the pastoralist, it is time now to know that they can do silage and they can plant for more than 10 years for them to feed their cows from that feeds. And I want to tell you, do you know that the soil that pastoralists are very fertile because they are virgin? So everything that is planted there grows very well. I've never seen one that say that his doesn't grow. But remember, water is very important. Tell me one plant that ever grew without a drop of water. No plant that can grow without a drop of water. So talk about water dam. Can we see the government of Narok doing a big water dam for the pastoralists to do the farming? Can we see the government of Kajiado doing a big dam, helping the farmers with what we call water pans? Water pans is just digging a small well and just waiting for the water to flow in, and then you can use it. What are we seeing? What are the activities that we're seeing in the ground? But thank God, because they are farmers that are indeed farmers, and I'm happy that they are doing it. And they are heading in the right direction. So I would like, we call them the voices of reason, to come in, like you guys, what you have done now for the Kenya Gold. So I know this program has a direction for Kenya.
Thank you very much kwa hiyo. Sasa papo hapo umezungumzia serikali sana. Kuna mzozo ambao tunashuhudia kwamba wanahifadhi vyakula vya binadamu, lakini mbona wasihifadhi kusaidia wale wakulima kuhifadhi vyakula vya mifugo?
One thing ambayo saa zingine kama vile umesema ni kwamba kuna gara pale Nakuru tunasema Kenya Cereal Board. Cereal Board is for human food. Nayo Kenya hatuna ya wanyama. So there is still a gap. Na hiyo lazima tuangalie sisi wakulima wenyewe. Na kwanza inaanza na mkulima mwenyewe, halafu serikali naye lazima wawe na mpangilio. Kwa sababu there is competition between human and animal conflict. Because zile zimewekwa kwa gara la Kenya Cereal Board were for human. But for the animals, wakati tunatengeneza dairy meal, those concentrate, tunatumianga mahindi. So when there is no maize, they go there and buy. And you know Cereal Board will sell to any miller. So they will do the daily meal, the concentrate for the cows. So when you hear, now unga imepanda, wanyama wamekura. Imagine, you cannot take 2 kg, you as a human, ukiwa peke yako. Mnachukua familia mzima. Do you know how much cow take per day? That unga, those grains, it will take even 12 kg per day, 1 cow. The population of animal and human, which population is big? Animal. Because you find a family has 2 people but has 20 cows. So I don't know if we can understand that, and we can see still there is a conflict between animal and human. Accurately, whatever you are inciting, you will find it safe.
Right.
That is what we call anaerobic fermentation. So that is silage. But then on your question, when you are asked about silage, the nutrition, then that is where we are involving nutritionists. Especially in need farmer, we have the best nutritionist. So we talk about the way you keep silage and how you harvest. Like you hear people saying, now I've removed my maize, now I want to do silage. That is not silage. It has no nutrition because already the nutrition you have taken from the maize. So that is just for feeding. It's like when you go with your child and you buy popcorns, you let them eat for the meal.
Sasa asante sana, unaendelea kutazama Kenya's Gold, lakini sasa tuchukue mapumziko kidunya, tukirejea kungali kuna mengi, usikwende popote.